Hisoka is a perfect character, loved by many Hunter x Hunter fans including myself, one of the most popular characters, and I would say I have no complaints about his character. By the way, this is just my opinion. Hisoka's first introduced during the Hunter exam. He's presented as a very powerful and dangerous character. He goes after Gon, Leorio, and Kurapika, having multiple encounters with them throughout the Hunter exam, and his first time meeting Gon is when he got interested in him and chose him to be someone he was gonna fight once they reached their full potential, since Hisoka likes fighting opponents and beating them once they've reached their full potential, proving he's still better than them even when they have gotten better. And I think it only confirmed Hisoka's interest or made him more interested in Gon when Gon took his badge during the Hunter exam. It made Hisoka surprised, but it also made him think that Gon will end up being a worthy opponent and one that he wants to fight in the future. Throughout the Hunter exam, Hisoka had a lot of good fights and moments. I also like his outfit a lot during the Hunter exam. This is probably one of my favorite character designs for him and outfits that he's worn in the series. He wears a light blue top as well as light blue pants, some pink accents, as well as a yellow piece of clothing wrapped around his waist. Hisoka is a jester, similar to a clown. He's very sneaky and mysterious, extremely confident and self-believing, and he's got determination and ambition to reach his goals and do what he wants. But he's also odd at times and can be a little creepy and scary. I also really like his Nen abilities, which are, for example, his cards. I think it's a really cool gimmick and it fits his character since he's a jester or similar to a clown, and he throws the cards, which do lots of damage to his opponent, usually actually taking his opponent's lives with this move. And of course, he also has his bungee gum. It has the properties of both rubber and gum, allowing Hisoka to manipulate his aura in a way that is both sticky and elastic. He can attach it to people, and if he's stronger than them, he can pull them or control the way they're going, but he can also use it for defense, as well as find ways to use his bungee gum to travel. I think that his bungee gum is very useful, and it's a very creative ability that he has that he uses very well. In Heaven's Arena, we see him once again. Why? Because Gon wants to fight him, so Gon goes to Heaven's Arena, and Hisoka happens to be there. We see some great fights with Hisoka against Castro and Gon, where Hisoka once again shows how dangerous he is and powerful, as well as the fact that he's very intelligent. But when it gets to York New City, this is where Hisoka really becomes the villain. He goes behind the Phantom Troop's back and is working with Kurapika, helping out Kurapika, who is going up against the Phantom Troop. And Hisoka is supposed to actually be like Judas, because Crollo talks about the Bible and how Judas betrayed Jesus, and he was using that to represent the traitor when they found out they had a traitor among the Phantom Troop. And the traitor was Hisoka. When Crollo found out that Hisoka was the traitor, he thought he was being forced to do this and he had no choice, but didn't want to do this. However, Hisoka chose to do this because he wanted to fight Crollo, so he really was a real traitor. I think a perfect character needs to be well-rounded, and you can't think that, oh, this character is lacking in this way, so he could be better. I'm not saying they couldn't have done things differently with Hisoka, or Hisoka could be different, they couldn't do more things with this character, but I'm saying overall, I think he's great in every aspect, and I like him in every aspect, whether it's his character design, which I've always liked, and I like multiple of them, and he always has a different one in every arc. I like the fact that he has red hair and he looks like a clown or a jester. I think his personality is interesting. He's powerful and one of the best Nen users. He's not overused in the series. He has a really unique mindset. He wants to fight opponents when they are in their prime and their full potential, and then conquer them, be able to defeat them, to boost his own ego even more, and validate himself by confirming that he can beat anyone, and beat them when they're at their full potential. Everything's sort of a game for Hisoka, and he does it for his own entertainment. He's a little bit similar to the Joker, I would say. And even in his fight against Crollo, it really seemed that way. Because Hisoka, he's a jester, similar to Joker because Joker's a clown. They both cause a lot of chaos. Joker's the villain, and Hisoka, he seems like sort of a villain. And then Joker's going up against Batman, and Hisoka's going up against Crollo. And Crollo actually seems pretty similar to Batman. I mean, the colors used for the characters, dark colors. Their personalities, calm and intelligent. They're both really good at prepping for situations and fights. So I would say Hisoka is a good character as well, just because of how he's used, all the details about him, his gimmick. Just overall, he can be shown intelligent, emotionally, serious, funny, sad, angry, all very well. His character's quite unique. So in every aspect, he's quite great. There's not an aspect that I could think of that's really missing from his character, like an emotion or a personality trait that I think is needed or that could make him so much better or that's preventing him from being a perfect character. He was in every arc. Also, the arcs that I mentioned he was in was Creed Island and the Chairman Election arc, except for the Chimera Ant arc. He wasn't in that arc, and it would be kind of dumb for me to say, oh, he's not a perfect character, because he would be a perfect character if he was in the Chimera Ant arc. And that's a really good arc, and a lot of people would say it's the best arc. So if he was in that arc and did something cool in that arc, then he would be a perfect character. No, I'm not going to go say things like that. I'm just talking about overall as a character. I would say he's a perfect character because you want to see more of him. He's always interesting, great in every aspect. There's a lot of things they could do with him in the future. So there's not really any downsides to his character. And the thing is, you never know what you're getting with Hisoka, and he's a very unpredictable character, which makes him even more interesting and engaging to watch. Whether he's a hero or a villain, he is still likable. I would consider him mostly a villain, or maybe you could say an anti-hero. But even the fact that we don't know the exact answer to that question, and it seems kind of hard to say for sure, or the lines are a little bit blurred between the two, makes him even more mysterious and interesting. I just feel if they ever need an interesting moment or to make a part better in Hunter x Hunter, using Hisoka will always be beneficial. So that's why I personally think Hisoka is a perfect character. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Is Hisoka one of your favorite characters? Would you consider him a perfect character? Or do you have any complaints about him? Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.